Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. This soul has pleasure in traveling with you all from the east of Bharatvarsh to the west coast. In this episode, this soul humbly submits to you the life of Sant Namdev. The contents of this episode has been collated from wikipedia.com. Namdev, also transliterated as Namdev, Namdev, Namadeva, traditionally was born on the 26th of October 1270 CE and was alive till 3rd July 1350 CE. Was an Indian poet and saint from Narsi, Hingoli, Maharashtra. From Narsi, Hingoli, Maharashtra, India within the Varkari tradition of Hinduism. He lived as a devotee of Lord Vittal of Pandharpur. The details of Namdev's life are unclear. He is the subject of many miracle-filled hagiographies composed centuries after he died. Scholars find these biographies to be inconsistent and contradictory. Namdev was influenced by Vaishnavism and became widely known in India for his devotional songs set to music. His philosophy contains both Nirguna and Saguna Brahman elements with monistic themes. Namdev's legacy is remembered in modern times in the Varkari tradition, along with those of other gurus, with masses of people walking together in biannual pilgrimages to Pandharpur in South Maharashtra. He is also recognized in the North Indian traditions of the Dhadupanthis, Kabirpanthis, and Sikhs. Details of the life of Namdev are vague. His family name was believed to be as Relekar, which is common in Bhavsar and Namdev Shimpi caste. He is traditionally believed to have lived between 1270 and 1350 CE, but S.B. Kulkarni, according to Christian Nowatzki, one of the most prominent voices in the historical study of Maharashtrian Sant figures, has suggested that 1207 to 1287 CE is more likely based on textual analysis. Some scholars date him to around 1425 and another R. Bharadwaj proposes 1309 to 1372 CE. His well-known and first miracle is that in childhood he got an idol of Lord Vittal drink the milk. Namdev was married to Rajai and had a son Vita, both of whom wrote about him as did his mother Gonai. Contemporary references to him by a disciple, a potter, a guru and other close associates also exist. There are no references to him in the records and inscriptions of the then ruling family, and the first non-Varkari noting of him appears possibly to be in the Leela Charitra, a Mahanubhava sect biography dating from 1278. Smritisthala, a later Mahanubhava text from around 1310, may also possibly refer to him. After that, there are no references until a Bakar of around 1538. According to Mahipati, a hagiographer of the 18th century, Namdev's parents were Dhamashet and Gonoi, a childless elderly couple whose prayers for parenthood were answered and involved him being found floating down a river. As with various other details of his life, elements such as this may have been invented to sidestep issues that might have caused controversy. In this instance, the potential controversy was that of caste, or more specifically, his position in the Hindu Varna system of ritual ranking. He was born into what is generally recognized as a Shudra caste, variously recorded as Shimpi or tailor in the Marathi language and as Chimpa, Chumba, Shimpi or calico printer in northern India. His followers in Maharashtra and northern India, who are from those communities, prefer to consider their place and thus his as Kshatriya. There are contrary traditions concerning his birthplace, with some people believing that he was born at Narsibhamani on the Krishna river in Marathwada, and others preferring somewhere near Pandharpur on the Bhima river, that he was himself a calico printer or tailor, and that he spent much of his life in Punjab. The Leela Charitra suggests, however, that Namdev was a cattle thief who was devoted to and assisted Vithoba. A friendship between Namdev and Jnaneshwar, a yogi saint, has been posted at least as far back as circa 1600 CE, when Nabhadas, a hagiographer, noted it in his Bhakta Kamal. Jnaneshwar, also known as Jnanadev, never referred to Namdev in his writings, but perhaps had no cause to do so. Nowatzki notes that Jnanadev's songs generally did not concern biography or autobiography. The historical truth of their friendship is beyond my ken to determine and has remained as unsettled subject in Marathi scholarship for over a century. Namdev is generally considered by Sikhs to be a holy man or Bhagat, many of whom came from lower castes and so also attracted attention as social reformers. Such men, who comprised both Hindus and Muslims, traditionally wrote devotional poetry in a style that was acceptable to the Sikh belief system. Scholars note that many miracles and specifics about Namdev's life appear only in manuscripts written centuries after Namdev's death. The birth theory with Namdev floating down a river is first found in Mahipati's Bhakta Vijay, composed around 1762 CE, and is absent in all earlier biographies of Namdev. Mahipati's biography of Namdev adds numerous other miracles, such as buildings rotating and sun rising in the west, to show respect to Namdev. The earliest surviving Hindi and Rajasthani biographies from about 1600 CE only mention a few miracles performed by Namdev. In Namdev biographies published after 1600 CE through the end of the 20th century, new life details and more miracles increasingly appear with the passage of time. The earliest biographies never mention the caste of Namdev, and his caste appears for the first time in manuscripts with statements from Ravidas and Dhana in early 17th century. Namdev's Immaculate Conception miracle, mentioned in later era manuscripts, adds Nowatzki, is a story found regularly for other sons in India. The Namdev biographies in medieval manuscripts are inconsistent and contradictory, feeding questions of their reliability. The literary works of Namdev were influenced by Vaishnava philosophy and a belief in Vithoba. Along with the Jnaneshwari, a sacred work of Jnaneshwar, and of Bhakti movement teacher writes such as Tukaram, the writings of Namdev form the basis of the beliefs held by the Varkari sect of Hinduism. He was thus among those responsible for disseminating the monotheistic Varkari faith that had emerged first in Karnataka in the mid to late 12th century and then spread to Pandharpur in Maharashtra. Namdev and Jnaneshwar used the Marathi language to convey their beliefs. Namdev's style was to compose simply worded praise for Vithoba and to use a melodic device called Samkirtana, both of which were accessible to common people. Shima Aivao says that he taught that all can be saved equally without regard to caste through devotion or bhakti to Vithoba, and that he greatly influenced groups of people who were forbidden by the Brahmin elite from studying the Vedas, such as women and members of the Shudra and untouchable communities. The earliest anthological record of Namdev's works occurs in the Guru Granth Sahib, the Sikh scriptures compiled in 1604 CE, although Nowatzki notes that while the manuscript records of Namdev mostly date from the 17th and 18th centuries, there exists a manuscript from 1581 that presents a rarely recounted variant version of Namdev's Tirthavali, a Marathi language autobiographical piece. It is evident that Guru Granth record is an accurate rendition of what Namdev wrote. The oral tradition probably accounts significantly for the changes and additions that appear to have been made by that time. The numerous subsequently produced manuscripts also show variant texts and additions that are attributed to him. Of around 2,500 abhangs that were credited to him and written in Marathi language, perhaps only 600 to 700 are authentic. The surviving manuscripts are geographically dispersed and of uncertain provenance. Namdev's Padas are not mere poems, according to Kalevairat and Lath. Like other Bhakti movement sons, Namdev composed bhajans, that is, songs meant to be sung to music. A bhajan literally means a thing enjoyed or shared. Namdev's songs were composed to be melodious and carry a spiritual message. They built on one among the many ancient Indian traditions for making music and singing. Namdev's bhajans, note Kalevat and Lath, deployed particular species of rag, use bhanita or chap, a stamp of the composer's name inside the poem, in his case Nama, applied a tek or dhruva, repeated refrain, and a meter that helps harmonize the wording with the musical instrument, all according to Sangeeta manuals refined from the 8th to 13th centuries. The musical genre of Ramdev's literary works was a form of Prabandha itself, a very large and rich genre that includes Drupad, Thumri, Tapa, Geet, Bhajan, and other species. In some species of Indian music, it is the music that dominates, while words and their meaning are secondary. In contrast, in Namdev's bhajans, the spiritual message in the words has a central role, and the structure resonates with the singing and music. The songs and music that went with Namdev's works were usually transmitted verbally across generations in a Guru Sishya Parampara within singing gharanas. Kalivat and Lath state that each single song of Namdev is a musical and textual unit, and this unit is the basis for textual considerations. The unit contains antaras, which are the smallest independent unit within that can be shifted around, dropped, or added without affecting the harmony or meaning when a bhajan is being sung with the music. In Namdev's songs, the dominant pattern is Chaturasra or an Avarta with the 4x4 square pattern of musical matras or beat. Namdev's work is known for abhangs, a genre of hymn poetry in India. His poems were transmitted from one generation to the next singing with singing families, and memory was the only recording method in the centuries that followed Namdev's death. The repertoires grew because the artists added new songs to their repertory. The earliest surviving manuscripts of songs attributed to Namdev from these singing families are traceable to the 17th century. A diverse collection of these manuscripts exists, which have been neither compiled nor archived successfully in a single critical edition. The state government of Maharashtra made an effort and compiled Namdev's work from various manuscripts into the Sri Namdev Gatha in 1970 CE. The Adi Granth of Sikhism includes a compilation of 61 songs of Namdev. However, of these, Only 25 are found in surviving Namdev related manuscripts of Rajasthan. Vinan Kaliwat suggests that Namdev's poems in the Adi Granth and the surviving Rajasthani manuscripts are considerably different musically and morphologically, but likely to have evolved from a very early common source. Of thousands of Abhang's poems credited to Namdev, 600 to 700 are probably authentic. The other poems are attributed to Namdev in a phenomenon Novatsky calls anamnetic authorship. The later compositions and their authors hid the true authorship purposefully and collectively over the 14th to 18th centuries, a period described in Maharashtra culture as the Dark Age. This was a period of Muslim conquest and repression of Hindus under the Delhi Sultanate and the Mughal Empire. The literary work not composed by Namdev but attributed to Namdev were partly a product of this historical suffering and political situation in Deccan region of India. Some of the poetries of another poet named Vishnudas Namdev who lived in 15th century are also attributed to this Namdev the saint. This includes the popular Marathi artis of Vitoba, Yuge Adavis and A. O. Vithala. Namdev was influenced by Vaishnavite philosophy. His poems sometimes invoked Vitoba, sometimes Vishnu Krishna as Govind Hari, but in the larger context of Rama, which states Ronald McGregor was not referring to the hero described in the Hindu epic Ramayana, but to a pantheistic ultimate being. Namdev's view of Rama can be visualized, adds McGregor, only as the one true or real teacher of man. However, this is an observation based on hymns for which Namdev is not definitively known to be the author and might well be interpolated. For example, the following hymn talks about worshipping one omnipresent God rather than the Hindu deities Rama or Shiva. O Pandit, I saw your great god Shiva riding along on a white bull. In the merchant's house, a banquet was prepared for him. He killed the merchant's son. O Pandit, I saw your Ramchand. He lost his wife fighting a war against Ravan. The Hindu is sightless. The Muslim has only one eye. The spiritual teacher is wiser than both of them. The Hindu worships at the temple, the Muslim at the mosque. Namdev serves that Lord who is not limited to either the temple or the mosque. Namdev, Guru Granth Sahib, 874 to 875. He also writes, one stone is lovingly decorated while another stone is walked upon. If one is a god, then other must also be a god, says Namdev, I serve the Lord. Namdev, Guru Granth Sahib, 525. Indian traditions attribute varying theosophical views to Namdev. In North India, Namdev is considered as a Nirguna Bhakta. In Marathi culture, he is considered a Saguna Bhakta. In Namdev literature, devotion as a path to liberation is considered superior to alternative paths. Novatsky states that the envisioned devotion is not one way from the devotee to Vishnu, but it is bidirectional, such that Krishna is Namdev's slave and Namdev is Vishnu's slave. To Namdev, mechanical rituals are futile. Pilgrimage to holy places is pointless. Deep meditation and loving mutual devotion is what matters. Namdev and other Sant poets of India were influenced by the monist view of the ultimate being or Brahman, which was expressed in vernacular language as a loving devotion not of a specific deity but to this ultimate, according to McGregor. Namdev's songs suggested the divine is within oneself, its non-duality, its presence and oneness in everyone and everything. In Namdev's literary works summarizes Clausewitz as with virtually every Bhakti movement poet, the Upanishadic teachings form an all-pervasive substratum, if not a basis. We have here a state of affairs that has no parallel in the West, supreme wisdom which can be taken as basically non-theistic and as an independent wisdom tradition appears fused with highest level of bhakti and with highest level of God realization. Along with the works of sons such as Dhyaneshwar and Tukaram, the writings of Namdev are at the foundation of beliefs held by the Varkari sect of Hinduism. He was among those responsible for disseminating the Vithoba faith that had emerged first in the 12th century. Namdev used the Marathi language to compose his poetry, which made it accessible to the wider public. Namdev's simple words of devotion and his used melody appealed to common people. This helped spread his message and songs widely. Namdev thus played a role, states McGregor, in shaping the religious base for the pre-modern and modern culture of North India. Namdev attracted individuals from diverse classes and castes during community-driven bhajan singing sessions. His companions during worship sessions included Ghanopatra, or a dancing girl, Sena, a barber, Savata, a gardener, Chokamela, an untouchable, Jnanabai, a maid, Ghora, a potter, Narahari, a goldsmith, and Jnaneshwar, also known as Jnandev, a Brahmin. The close friendship between Namdev and the influential Jnaneshwar, a Brahmin yogi saint, is mentioned in Bhaktamal. The songs of Namdev, also called Kirtans, use the term Loka, which Nowatzki states is a reference to we the people and the human world as a social force. Namdev is considered one of the 5 revered gurus in the Dadopant tradition within Hinduism, the other 4 being Dadu, Kabir, Ravidas, and Hardas. Dadopanthi Hindus thrived in Rajasthan, creating and compiling bhakti poems, including one of the largest collection of Namdev songs. They were also among the warrior ascetics of Rajput heritage who became a widespread phenomena in the 17th and 18th century in North India and were sannyasins who participated in armed resistance to the Islamic Mughal Empire, inspired by the Nath Yogi heritage and 5 revered gurus. Like Dadopant, another North Indian warrior ascetic group, the Niranjani Sampradaya tradition within Hinduism reveres Namdev as a holy person. The Niranjani Vani, which is their scripture, just like the scriptures of Dadopanthi and Sikhs, includes poetry of Namdev and is dated to be from the 17th and 18th centuries. Namdev is one of the revered holy men in Sikhism as well. He is mentioned in Guru Granth Sahib, where Nowatzki notes Namdev is remembered as having been summoned to confront a sultan. There is a controversy among scholars if the Namdev hymns recorded in the Guru Granth of Sikhs were composed by the Marathi Namdev or a different sant whose name was also Namdev. Namdev's legacy continues through the biannual pilgrimage to Pandharpur near Bhima River in Maharashtra. His Paduka are among those of revered sons that Varkari communities from various parts of Maharashtra carry with a palki or palanquin to the Vithoba temple in Pandharpur every year in modern times. Namdev composed bhajan kirtans are sung during the pilgrimage related festivities. A tradition in Maharashtra is that Namdev died at the age of 80 in 1350 CE. Sikh tradition maintains that his death place was the Punjabi village of Ghuman, although this is not universally accepted. Aside from a shrine there that marks his death, there are monuments at the other claimant places being Pandharpur and the nearby Narsibhamani. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Saints of India. If you would like to support this project, you may contribute through patreon.com, the details of which appear in the description. All proceeds will be utilized for the upliftment of the Veda Pathashalas or tolls where the future generation of Sanatana Dharma learn the Vedas and Shastras. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.